Does anybody want this?
Does anyone want this podcast? I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know what the hell's going on here. What an auspicious way to start this podcast. Maybe we should go back in time and do it all over again. Go ahead, Kim. Start it up.
What?
Loop the time again.
Oh.
Okay.
I'll swallow this dark matter blob and blow myself up.
You're supposed to say, is anyone listening to this or anyone interested in this?
My God. Really,
repeat the time loop.
Does anyone really want a video broadcast?
We've only been recording podcasts for 77 episodes, and you don't know what I'm doing anymore? I mean, like Stamets talked to Burnham, and she instantly believed him, and then consecutively began to understand him more and more, to the fact where she knew how to dance from like time to time, and she knew all these things.
We're diving right in. No more intro.
I don't care. I don't care about the intro. There's no more, because we could have gone back in time. We're doing this all over again. But we're not. My name is Mike McCafferty.
I'm Kim Miller.
And I'm Jason McCarris.
And this is a show called I Just Want to Talk About Star Trek, episode 77, where we talk about Star Trek. Sometimes we also talk about the Orville. Sometimes you can listen to and watch Kim Miller eat various foods and drink liquids.
The perfect time to have a snack.
There are so many hours in which
space themed.
There are so many hours in which she could be eating or drinking, and yet she chooses these 30 minutes to repeat over and over again, to my chagrin. All right, well, we are back. We have a double-barreled. No, keep going. So, make sure you leave us a review on iTunes when it says up front. Make sure you go to our Facebook page. I Just Want to Talk About Star Trek. Make sure you tweet us at Mike McCafferty, at Flibidip, at Jason McCarris. Do all those things, and we may respond to you.
We will respond.
We will respond to you.
We'll think about it.
We'll think about it. But if you go to the webpage, you'll be able to see this video if you want. You can see Kim eating and drinking.
Nobody cares about video.
Video is dead. Long live audio.
See three stupid people.
She can't even finish her sentence. She's got to drink.
I know. She's so dehydrated in this. My God, she's on that desert planet from the first episode.
I haven't had coffee all day.
She's been walking in the pattern of a Starfleet insignia for hours.
Giant.
Why isn't this working?
All right, so we have two things to talk about tonight, and probably some tertiary things, some real-world nonsense. But we're going to talk tonight about what is the name of this? For the world is hollow and I have touched the mud.
Magic to make the sanest man go mad.
Another good title. Another good title.
Ridiculous.
I will never.
Really?
Another title that I will never remember.
It doesn't matter. Magic to make the sanest man go mad.
Sentences long.
But like that's old school Star Trek. That's Star Trek that no one remembers now. And when this show goes on for 11 years and loops past Star Trek, be like, oh, we decided not to do that, and we'll all be dead by then, so it won't matter.
That's nice.
Suicide pact.
I didn't agree to that.
You toasted to it. You drank your NASA cup of liquid. Toast to it. With prune juice in it.
It's liquid nitrogen in that mug.
Liquid. It's dark matter. Weaponized dark matter.
Weaponized dark matter. So we're going to talk about that. We're also talking about the Orville's episode, which is called Majority Rule. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. See, I can remember that one because that's like two words I can put together. And it actually has some sort of like coherent like meaning, as far as like, magic to make the sane man go mad. Well, it's kind of catchy. It's starting to grow on me. So let's talk about that one. What do we think about that one, Kim?
The whole time I was just like, oh, what? Very confused. But well, I'm still into it. But then when Stella made her appearance, that's when it all fell apart for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Jason, what did you think?
I honestly enjoyed it. I finally felt like after 7 episodes, I didn't have to think about whether or not I like these characters or what's going on. At least I kind of understood who they were, and there wasn't a lot of lead up to them. And I got a kick out of it. I got to say, I think a lot of it was pretty
Oh.
ridiculous, and I think Harry Mudd, coming out of a space whale, shooting people with like a rabbit space helmet was just
Andorian.
Oh, I guess that is an Andorian helmet.
Is that
I
Andorian
guess
helmet?
I
Okay.
think so. I assume.
Yeah, I didn't know what the hell that thing was either. It's like the most ridiculous looking outfit, and he comes out there in a bunny ears and
Straight out of
starts
Donnie
shooting
Darko
her.
or something.
It's like weird fat bunny comes out of this like a space whale and shoots everybody very efficiently. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
How did you
Yeah.
like it?
I enjoyed the first half a lot. I did. Immediately I was like, oh, we're doing cause and effect. Well, Jason hasn't seen that one.
Yeah.
I think Kim and I both were like, oh, okay, they're doing cause and effect. We've seen
Yep.
that. It's a TNG episode, a great TNG episode. And I was like, okay, that's fine.
Almost
I can-
exactly the same story in many ways.
pretty much.
Were they
with the
caught in a time
exception.
loop in that?
Yep.
Yes, they were. Yeah, it has a great opening where it's a cold open where the Enterprise just explodes. Picard's in his chair's like, all hands abandon ship, repeat abandon ship, and then the ship explodes, and then they go to opening credits. You're like, what the hell's going on here? And then they come back, and the ship's whole again. They're like, Captain's log, stardate 2025. And it's like, what is this? And the ship blows up several times. And then they finally figure out. We talked about this, didn't we, Kim? Was it
Yeah,
you and
I
who
think so.
talked?
Yeah, we
where
talked about the 3, the recurrence of the number 3, and all that.
Yeah, and then Kelsey Grammer comes out of a wormhole with repurposed for a lion
Frasier
class,
shows up.
a Miranda class. Yeah,
Promptly falls off a stage.
The Bozeman.
Sam, you and Diane need to get back together. That wasn't too bad. Okay, so it did remind me a little bit of that, and I was enjoying it. And I have to be honest, I think the second half really kind of fell off the cliff. It fell off the stage as Jason was trying to push forward on that.
Yes.
The Kelsey Grammer falling off the stage midway through. Google that. Watch that video. It was probably the funniest thing you're ever going to see.
The recovery is maybe the funniest thing. Because, at first you're like, oh my God, is he okay? And then he continues on with the show. Yeah.
It is the Peter Griffin.
It is. It is, yeah. Anyway, not Star Trek.
Let's go back in time and try this whole thing again because we've gone off the rails. No, I thought at first they had some pretty good ideas, some interesting concepts, and then it just started to kind of lose cohesion, I felt. And having Mudd as this sort of mastermind, it can only get you so far. Mudd's plans fall apart a lot quicker, at least in the first 3 times we've seen him, than they did here. Here he is a genius, and he can plot out every single thing. First of all, he jumps in a space whale and escapes the Klingon prison. And then he times everything out to destroy the ship over and over again. Yeah, we'll get to that. And then the end of the episode got so kooky where it's like, wait, you're not going to prosecute him? You're just going to put him with his wife and let him fly away?
You just keep him away from us.
Away from Starfleet.
Yeah.
Okay.
What the hell is this?
Look,
it's like,
Charles Manson, you just stay away from him.
we're going to give you a warning. Because, as I was parsing through it, I was like, well, wait a minute. Did, in this iteration, maybe he didn't kill anyone? Because certainly every time he emerges...
Oh, my God,
He didn't even really commit a crime, though, did he? Other than attempting
did
to
he or
take over the
didn't he?
ship. But they didn't let
yes.
him.
Yeah, but attempted taking over the ship is still attempted taking over the ship. If I try to steal a cop car and I fail, that's still an attempted Grand Theft Auto. It's like,
you stay away from police, mister.
It's a little worse than just a cop car, too. It's like if you tried to take over a battleship or something.
Right. Although honestly, if I tried to do that and they brought my wife Sarah over and it'd be like, okay, you screwed up, you have to go with your wife now. She would be so mad, prison will almost be better, It'd be like, no, lock me up, please. I'm in so much trouble.
I did sort of enjoy the payoff, though, where he was talking about Stella all the time, and we kind of know, from the previous version of the character that he was not happy with Stella. So there was one of two things: either he was just beginning the relationship with her, or he was lying about it, which turned out to be the case.
You mean cute, young, beautiful, adoring Stella?
Yes.
In 10 years, she goes downhill fast.
Yeah.
I mean, or like 11 years, I guess.
That's only 10 years later, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like 10 or 11, I guess, if you put it together.
She
like
ages
the second
about
season.
what, 30 years in that 10 years?
Hardcore. Yeah, I was kind of surprised to see this. Like I'm like, why are you leaving her? I mean, she's beautiful.
She's rich and adores all your bullshit.
I know. See, the end of this episode was such a Deus Ex Machina. It's like, go ahead, sit in the command chair. Oh, we reprogrammed the command chair. Like, what? You did what now? Oh, we reprogrammed the communicator. Oh, and here's her father who's been chasing after you stole his money. I forgive you because my daughter loves you, and I have a cape, and we're going to fly away in a crazy boat ship. Goodbye.
And I carry a baton of some kind.
He's like some sort of like steampunk guy all of a sudden. He like comes with like girl in 90s like yoga pants comes rolling in.
But we learned very important things in this episode, like Michael Burnham has never been in love.
No, she hasn't. And oddly enough,
that's the greatest fact about her life that she could give to Stamus.
How about this? Like my brother will never ever mention me for the rest of my life. Nor will my father, nor will my mother to anyone ever.
I was rewatching the Lathy episode, and again, I was trying to figure out what is this age difference supposed to be. And they said that Spock has not even yet begun the Vulcan Muffin Pan Academy, so he must be a child. He must be a little kid, very young
Pan
kid.
Academy.
Because that Mike Pence White Shadow Vulcan. He's like, when he begins, eventually he will apply to the Vulcan, blah, blah, blah. Like, what is he for?
I know. I don't understand. I mean, none of it matches up. I mean, let's just say we're in the Kelvin universe or in a universe adjacent or something. Let's just all be okay with that. Again,
Universe adjacent.
Universe adjacent.
If we get to the end of the series and they don't, explain why there's these differences, what are you going to do?
Well, again, what are we going to do? I mean, who cares? I mean, obviously our opinion is not that important anymore. Oh, and we should point out the big news is that CBS picked this up for a second season.
Yeah, that is big news.
Did you see the cast photo for season 2? And Tilly is very prominently a member now.
Oh no, they already had a cast photo. What the hell?
I didn't see that either.
Let me try and find it. I'll send it to you.
I bet that, like many shows these days, especially animated shows, and I can't reveal my sources on this, but
you.
No, actually, from what I understand, I'm not supposed to reveal any sort of sources. But from past shows, I understand, like, in order to keep the crew and the cast and everybody together, especially like for animation, you want to keep your story artists, they'll roll right over into a second season. And so maybe that's what these guys are doing. It's like, hey, let's just keep this thing going. We're going to roll over into second season, keep the momentum going. But I mean, we're going to get more Star Trek, so that's a good thing. Whether or not it's our Star Trek, that is what we talk about here.
It's a hybrid now.
It is a hybrid. It's a hybrid with many different parts. Someone online said it was a Battlestar Galactica kind of episode. I'm like, yeah, it kind of is. But should we unpack a little bit of it here and there? Oh, no, that's right. Let's where should we start? This is a time travel episode, so we can start anywhere. It's all the same thing.
Personal log. We see her personal log.
I was just going to ask about the personal log. Yeah.
So the personal log didn't bother me. I was like, okay,
the first time there's
cool.
been a personal log as opposed to a captain's log?
From her.
From her. There's been personal logs before.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't mind the personal log in the beginning. At the end, though, it became the Grey's Anatomy narration.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard that, where it becomes like, I learned a lot today. Sometimes you have to go really far in order to find someone really close.
Or the montage of everybody doing things at the end where they're all sort of happy again. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't need that, but I like the fact that they are kind of bridging this, if you will, with a personal log, because now she's just part of the crew. And then they go to this party, this crazy party.
Yeah, where they're playing like 90s
beer pong,
hip hop, playing Bee Gees samples, and
you guys, when we have a party, the next time we have a party, we're going to play music from 300 years ago because you know what? That's the best music.
Harpsichord.
We're gonna get someone in a Trelane costume, and he's gonna sit at the harpsichord.
That is the equivalent, though, isn't it? I mean, it's like if we had a party and we're like, yeah, harpsichord music only.
Yes, this is absolutely true. This is.
Well, it's like if you watch the original series, of course, they're all listening to their 60s music. I kind of like, all right.
Well, are they? I mean,
I'm talking about you.
Yeah.
well, that is 60s inspired music. None of that is
Yeah.
actually like the original Star Trek probably didn't have the money to license out any sort of actual songs.
Right. Yeah.
I think the closest they came is using a Goodnight Irene version, I think, for City on the Edge of Forever. I think that's what it was.
What?
I know. Yeah. Everyone forget what I just said. It doesn't matter.
Very confused.
They use well, it doesn't matter. But here they can go ahead and license out those songs. So they're this is a $10 million per episode show.
It's only a matter of time until they license the Beastie Boys.
I can't stand it. I know you planned it. All right, so we see them at this party, which is fine. I mean,
Power redundancy delays. That's the first kind of clue that something's amiss.
Yeah. Power goes out for a second.
why does that go out? Why?
Because that's the time loop.
Oh, okay. That's so.
That's got to be when it starts, right?
Right, that's when it starts, and although it starts a little bit before that, obviously, because that's when.
Right.
Because Burnham's like having a party, and then she notices it. And so then they get called up. Well, we have a little bit. So now we're getting a little bit of relationship stuff. This episode is a lot about
Right.
relationships. They're
Yeah.
and literally shipping, as they call it.
Yeah.
Here we're
Tilly
trying to
is
ship.
really into, or was really into, officers, but now she's into musicians.
Yes,
Important stuff.
and Burnham is kind of digging on Ash. Ash Tyler Ash. I don't know. It's two first names.
Lieutenant
I don't
Tyler.
know.
Ash Tyler.
Ash Tyler Ash.
Is Kim taking a selfie right now?
I'm trying to find that photo. I'm listening.
What photo are you?
I saw
The
it.
season 2 cast photo of
Oh yeah, that'd be
Discovery.
great. Okay.
Go on.
So then they're called up to the bridge with Lorca, occasionally Southern Lorca,
Yeah.
captain of the Southern Wilds, Lorca, and they find a space whale.
Wait, you skipped an important little
Yeah.
tidbit.
Oh, what's that?
And,
What's that?
She collides with Stamets in the corridor, and he reveals that he has the cybernetic augment
Oh
on
yeah,
his arm now.
crazy kooky Stamets, man. I am actually happy that he is kind of a goofball now.
Yeah.
Because he was just like an asshole before. So they kind of laid that down where it's like, let's make him an asshole first, and then he'll be like a goofy guy. Or
So
maybe
when-
Because his DNA is now tied in with the spores and everything, this is why he wasn't subject to the time loop.
Yes.
yes.
I mean, he was subject to the time loop
Obviously, Jason.
because he was subject to the time loop because the ship was blown up several times and he came back, but he still remembered everything that happened.
Yeah.
With everything mushrooms can do in this Star Trek, I am so confused as to why not everyone from the future is driving big mushrooms. Why are there not just giant mushroom ships flying all over the place? Kirk's in a
Splicing their
mushroom,
DNA
Picard's in a
with
mushroom.
Driving a mushroom.
Beep beep, like driving. Because why not, right? Because I mean, they can go anywhere. They are impervious to time travel changes. They are the greatest thing ever. But Stamets certainly he gives us kind of this heads up that things are amiss. Not in this one though. Not in this first thing. He's just kind of like a goofball in this one.
But now he's hugging. He's hugging and saying you don't have to apologize. And
Yeah. He's just kind of a crazy
And
man.
he asked them, "What's the deal with you two?"
Yeah. He just calls that out. So then they go to the bridge.
The Gormagander.
Gormagander.
The Gorman's fisherman is out there. Is that too? I don't know. Is Gorman's fisherman even like a thing anymore? Gorman's.
Gordon.
I think it's Gorton's. Yeah. Not Gorman's.
Gordon's. Gordon's.
Gorton's. Yeah.
Gorgamander, Gilgamesh, Gargamel.
All
And
right.
oddly enough, and not at all in any way coincidentally connected to this, that these creatures are going extinct because they don't mate, because they're
Right.
so focused on doing one thing that they
so
don't have
subtle.
time to find a mate.
Which
What
are
could that
eating alpha particles
possibly-
in solar winds.
Possibly be referring to.
I don't know. It was so weird. And then it gets kind of like all put together. And I was like, oh my God, that's genius. I'm kidding, everyone. I'm super kidding. That's why you're going to watch the video, because you watch me actually gesticulate. No, so there's a big space whale. They beam it aboard.
This weightless creature who lives in a weightless environment.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, right? Why not simulate like their environment instead of putting it like on a gravity created like deck?
And it immediately dies under its own weight. Did it look like the never-ending story creature to you?
Which one?
It looks like a big fluffy white dog kind of thing. The front of its face kind of looked like that to me.
I don't know what you're talking about. My God, that looked
Jason
like
knows.
I do. I forget the name. It's like, dude, not something a chew or something.
Atreyu. No,
Atreyu,
it's not
yeah,
Atreyu.
Atreyu.
Atreyu's the kid, though.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
We don't need to be talking about this. Although
I just want to talk about the never-ending story.
although this was the never-ending story, so I will allow it, Kim. You're okay.
You'll allow it. Thank you.
I'll allow it. Yeah. Okay, so they beam it aboard, and then there's something weird going on, and it opens its poor little mouth, and then out pops
Falcor. That's Falcor.
Falcor. All right.
Yeah.
Look.
It's Falco. Rock
Yes.
me, Amadeus.
Make this video portion worthwhile.
We've
Oh,
reached
Jesus.
all of our 80s references between Falcor and Falco.
And Falco.
Anyway, Harry Mudd busts out and immediately murders 4 people.
Yeah.
Of you, and you're talking about how it's so dark now. I'm all, I like the dark stuff. I'm like, Jesus, Mudd is just a full-on murderer now.
Yeah.
Well, because he
And-
knew it didn't matter because he wasn't actually killing. I mean, he was killing them, but they were going to be alive 30 minutes later.
Sure enjoyed killing
I
them
mean-
53 times.
Yeah, I mean, like, there is such a sadistic nature to this series in general. I mean, there's a lot of torture. I mean, there's also torture in the Orville, too. We'll get to that. But there is some torture to this, and he is a lot more sadistic. He is a lot more cruel. And like, he wasn't sure which timeline was going to take. So he might have killed those guys the first time through and be like, oh, I got the ship, great. Or the 5th time through and, like, I had to kill 5 guys. So, I mean, as much as like he might have had that last version of time travel where he didn't kill anyone, I mean, he's still premeditated. He's still like precogged, killing these guys.
Yeah.
So
It's
it is
interesting
a-
that he mentions Stella again and how much he resents being robbed of her and all this. Like, why is he telling them this? I'll have my revenge.
Yeah. It's a weird twist because I actually kind of like the idea that he was like, no, I really want to get back to Stella. Like, to me, that's an interesting character arc because Stella in the original series is like this shrew witch to him.
Right.
And if it starts out where it's like, I love her, and I'm trying to get back to her, and then somehow in between it changes, that would have been interesting.
But the dowry motivation
Yeah.
was kind of interesting. I think that was kind of in line with his character, right?
Yeah, I guess. But again, it was just dropped in such a giant, you are the murderer, and here is the constable, and, you stole this money. And there's so many different things that were like revealed by our suddenly omniscient cast who had 30 minutes to like be convinced that this was a time travel thing and that everything's going to be okay and we all have all the information. It was just kind of, it was very convenient.
Yeah.
The way they spent those 30 minutes in all these flashback loops, it's like that kind of struck me as a little stupid. Let's
Groundhog
dance
Day.
in the corridor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
well,
all gonna
that's
die. Do we need to figure stuff out now, or nah? Let's dance first.
Let me tell you about how I met my husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was definitely kind of a little off the rails because it's like, wait a minute. I mean, this could be the last time you're alive. I mean, like, what if he just kind of like forgets to push the magic button and you just explode by accident, and you're dancing, you're like waltzing on the corridor.
You gotta see what I'm working with. What? Go do something. Go kill Harry Mudd.
So, like, you bring up a good point, which is why couldn't someone, including Stamets, just kill him? What is the big deal? Why is he just, like, running around trying to give other people clues instead of saying, okay, I know Harry Mudd's going to walk here at this point in time, I'm going to kill him?
And the idea that it became his job, the whole key to getting them out of this loop is to get her to talk to Tyler to see what he knows about Mudd. Like, what?
One of the things I couldn't stop thinking about in the episode, the entire episode, is are we sure that, I mean, we know something's up with Tyler, but are we sure about this theory that he's the Klingon guy?
I'm thinking that's less and less likely just because of how well he's able to relate in human relationships. I can't picture Klingon would be able to do that so fluidly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the woman said you're going to have to give up everything. And we haven't seen him since. We have not seen that character since. So, I mean, it is... I mean, if... Like, here's the thing. Like, right now, they're kind of screwed both ways. Right? Because if it's revealed that it's not him, then he's just like a random guy who was on board a prison ship. Okay, sounds good. If he is him, then it's like, well, we all knew that. And we were all already ahead of that plot point. So... what are they going to do? You know, I mean, it would be more interesting if he was a Klingon, because at least that's like something that's different.
Yeah, that seems unlikely to me at this point, but who knows? Maybe they'll pull some flim flam later on.
Maybe he's just going to press the button and the force field will come down like in that other episode of the Orville where you can touch there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's a very tactile force field. You know, you can hold on to the light. Yeah, the dancing thing, that's when, to me, that's when the show started going off the rails. Because, again, if Stamets, like, if he's wasting his time teaching Burnham how to dance, and, again, how did she remember how to dance from one moment to the next? Did she have some sort of, like...
to have that kind of connectivity between loops. Like, she's remembering stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
If we could have tied that together with, like, her, like, mind melding, and why didn't you just mind meld her? Say, hey, just mind meld with me, you'll get all the information. Would have been a quick way through.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
but instead...
Dormammu.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Thor Ragnarok's coming out. That was pretty good, actually. So anyway,
he's done with superhero movies.
No, we're gonna see that. My kid wants to see it.
Mike.
I'm done. I'm well,
he's
Spider-Man
proclaimed
really
this several times. I am done with these superhero movies.
Spider-Man: Homecoming really tired me out. Although Black Panther looks pretty good too. I got to say, Black Panther, at least in the trailers, looks like something I might want to watch. I could watch it.
Looks pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly,
but it's not Star Trek.
It's not Star Trek.
Neither is this.
Oh, well played, Doctor.
No, it kind of is Star Trek-ish.
Well, this one felt the most like a Star Trek episode. You know,
of this series, yeah.
Of this series, yeah. I mean, at least was as self-contained as you can get, and even the send-off at the end of sending Harry Mudd off to, you know, like we're just gonna, like you know, we're gonna let you go, man. Ha ha. You know, you're gonna get your comeuppance with your beautiful wife and her father who's rich.
And you'll suffer.
You killed me 53 times. I guess that's okay.
Captain will be fine with me letting you go. And Admiral, what's her name, who sleeps with it? What's his name? They'll all be fine.
Well, it looked like if you saw the preview for next week's episode, I think they're going on a rescue mission to get her.
Yeah, it looks like she's being tortured. They had some weird, like...
more torture.
More torture, which we're all excited about. Someone had postulated that Lethe was the name of a character in Day of the Dove. No, Day of the Dove? No. What's the one with the Tantalus colony? Dagger of the Mind. Dagger of the Mind. And that she was like a crazy person on that, who was previously a psychologist or psychiatrist on the Tantalus colony. And then she went crazy.
Oh, jeez.
I know. Someone had put all of that together. It's like, wow, okay, that would be interesting. I don't remember that at all, but I haven't watched Dagger of the Mind for a while. There's something disturbing about that one. So where do we live? Okay, so the dancing. We have the dancing. And then
Endless time loops.
Oh, that's when we get Mudd explaining, quote unquote, explaining how he got out of the Klingon prison ship. Oh, what about Stewart, the bug? We performed a feat of magic.
Yeah.
The most accomplished escape artist blush. And that's it. Don't ask any more questions.
Yeah.
Nope. We're just we're for the ride here. I guess it's like 30 minutes into it. This is going to have to be. We're all going to have to be okay with
Klingons
this.
If he's
released it?
able to create the time loop, and he was able to use it previously to crack the security at the bank or whatever they were talking about, that he probably was able to do the same thing on the ship, right?
Again, like there's so many expository dumps here. That I mean, like, because he's like, oh well, he did tell me that he was able to rob the bank in Betazoid, and he has these incredible like machinery things, and he does this, and he does that. Like, wow, well, this is all very interesting. Too bad we didn't see any of this. Too bad we're just kind of like being retroactively told this to explain the fact that he somehow jumped into a space whale and got an Andorian helmet and flew
his
away.
ship into a space whale, too.
And got his ship into a space whale, but somehow lost the bug. Somehow, like for some reason, I don't know why. It's like
Maybe the Klingon prison ship released him on purpose so he could do this crazy plan.
yeah, I guess that's I mean, if that's a rationalization, but I'll take it. Sure, why not?
That seems more plausible than a magic trick that would boggle your mind.
Again, I mean, like Mudd's plans in the next 10 years are far less thought out, far less practical. I mean, like his next trick is going to be to get a drug that makes girls look pretty and sell them to miners.
The old mining colony.
Oh, and we didn't point out that in the previous episode of the Orville, a mining colony was being attacked.
Another mining colony.
Like, oh my God,
Do
stop
they provide
it!
the majority of the union's supply of whatever they use instead of dilithium?
They might as well have. Those poor miners. Every miner is just in bad shape. Okay, so as Kim said, we do have a lot of time travel mumbo jumbo there. We also have the dark matter marbles, which he just basically like throws at you, and you have to be okay with it.
Interesting idea. I kind of like that. The dark,
It was
weaponized dark matter. I was like, that's interesting.
And what did he call that communications officer? Because that was actually a pretty good line.
Random communications guy.
Yeah. He called him Random Communications Officer Man.
That was pretty good. That was kind of a little meta joke there like that. But yes, he has those.
But he also had that line which we've seen in the trailers before that Mike has mentioned, where she says, "You're mad," and he says, "No, I'm Mudd."
Oh God, who's acting?
Pretty
in this?
ridiculous.
Bigger,
Again, I think that was
more ridiculous.
Yeah, I think they used a different take on it because I think at least in the trailer it was like, "I'm Mudd." Maybe I'm just dreaming.
I thought we got some of that tonight. I mean, it just seems like a terribly written line. I mean, it's just stupid.
Yeah, it's well, we're going to be seeing more of him. I have a feeling because he's a fan favorite right now. I mean, honestly, like to have to hold together this episode filled with time travel and so many loose ends. Rainn Wilson did a good job. I mean, I mean, it's not his fault that the script kind of fell apart in the second act, in my opinion. I mean, he held it together. I mean, as much as he could, as much as you can say I'm Mudd to you're mad.
So what was this ability that he had to beam people around just by waving his hand?
I noticed that too.
Did I miss something? Where did that come from? Have we seen it before?
Because site-to-site transport, ship-to-ship transport is very much a thing, and the computers here are so smart they don't even need any sort of voice control, as
it's all
they will
now.
in 10 years. They're going to need it very, very specifically.
I missed the ice cream cone handle in the turbo lift.
Oh yeah. Just pull that out. It's a little Dixie cup that comes out, and you're like.
But he used that little ability several times, like when he put Lorca out into space.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Yeah.
Kind of a funny montage, kind of goofy. I mean, it's a very much a Groundhog's Day episode.
Yeah.
It is wish fulfillment for Mudd, but none of it makes sense. You have to suspend so much belief on this stuff. You have to really dig deep. And I know if you go on Reddit, the Daystrom Institute, all these people will be rationalizing it all over the place, and it kind of frustrates me sometimes. Like, guys, it just didn't make sense. You know, don't help them for a bad plot. Make them work harder. But I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of points in this story where I was just like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Why are Stamets and Burnham just strolling through the corridor? Because Tyler got Paige to the bridge, and well, now I can't be alone with him. So what are we gonna do? They're like, something. Not just talk about how, oh, that's too bad. Let's dance. No, go to the bridge, find him, talk about how to fix this problem.
Yeah, and again, I mean, a little bit to your point is that Stamets, he is the other component of this Groundhog Day thing. As Mudd grows smarter and smarter, how to destroy the Enterprise and all this stuff, Stamets does nothing but talk to other people about how to save this stuff. Now, maybe he's crazy. Maybe he's just like, oh, I don't have the capacity. But he became more and more useful and smart towards the end. I mean, I just don't understand.
He's standing off to the side while Burnham and Tyler are dancing and talking and getting to know each other, and he's all watching. Oh, isn't that nice? They're finally talking. Go do something! You're a scientist.
Get a phaser and shoot him. Yes. Practice it 50 times and then shoot him. And then you'll be okay, man. And they'll be like, hey, what was that? Oh, look, we got Harry Mudd. He killed 3 guys, but it's okay because he was going to kill everybody over and over again. I got him in this box. We're okay. Oh, Jesus, what happened? Well, it's a good story, you guys. But that didn't happen, so...
We finally get to the point where we talk about the Betazoid bank that he robbed, and the non-equilibrial matter state, and time crystals, and a fourth-dimensional race must have perfected the technology.
Yes, the fourth-dimensional race.
I want to meet the four-dimensional race.
Time crystals. Time crystals, time crystals, time crystals. You know, they put it right in the title, magic. There's just so much magic in this episode. I mean, there should have been a sword. There should have been an elf. There should have been a wizard. Because we got time crystals, we got space whales, and we got stuff that's just like magic tricks. All right. Is there anything else?
Learn anything? Yeah. Can we move on to the Orville?
Well, I mean, overall, do you want to keep talking about Kim?
Yeah, I mean, wrap it up.
Well, I mean, we kind of went to the end a little bit. Is there anything else you want to wrap up, Kim? Is there
I think. Let me see if we missed anything. How do I repay Starfleet? Just make sure he stays out of Starfleet's way. Oh my god.
Yeah, such a weird building of that character. How do I have no intention of paying back Starfleet or doing this. How do I repay you or something like that? It's like, wait, what? What? Who are you?
How do I pay the army for saving my daughter's boyfriend?
Yeah.
Why would you? All right.
Well, he's consolidated all of the debt into one loan, so I guess he's going to have to pay him back.
Fine.
It becomes like a weird bank. It's like a game of Monopoly. He's sort of like, what is that Moneypenny guy? What like the Monopoly guy all of a sudden shows up
Equifax?
at the end?
Moneypenny.
Moneypenny shows up at the end and says, all right, I'm gonna pay you guys off in a wall one promissory note, and are we gonna see that guy again? Is Baltar
his father-in-law?
Yeah, I mean
the Baron.
The Baron.
Yeah.
Baron Exposition.
Baron Grimes.
Baron Von Exposition.
Yeah, right. Nonsense. Next week we get to see more of Saru's planet.
Yeah, I'll be okay with that.
Yeah.
Ganglia. Ganglia everywhere.
Oh, God.
They're born in fear. Terrified.
Yeah, how did you join Starfleet then?
To warn them that they're all going to die every 30 minutes. A lot of good it did in this episode. Could have warned people that they were going to die.
Yeah, how come his threat ganglia was not going mad? He's just like, oh no, I didn't sense anything. How come he didn't sense? How come he didn't sense that Mudd was on that big space wheel? How come he didn't sense that people on the cargo bay were going to die, the shuttle bay?
Yup.
I think we stumbled on to the mystery of the episode.
Yes, that is the true mystery. I will say, I mean, if you're listening to this episode for the first time, you're like, what the hell? These guys hate this. Like, well, we kind of do in some ways.
I'm surprised Jason liked it. I thought for sure he'd be like, this is stupid.
I mean, it was dumb, but it was entertaining. You know, I was entertained by it.
It was entertaining. I will, it was. I will give it like a 5 or 6 out of 10. I will say that, you know what? I mean, there are parts of it which were, and the self-contained nature. It's like, you know, if you guys are going to start telling more self-contained stories,
Okay.
like, I'm okay with that, because this whole serialized stuff, it just doesn't interest me. Just show me the first and last episode, then. That's all I need to see.
Want to know more about the Klingon story?
No, I don't want to know anything about that ever again. I am so uninterested in all those characters. I am so uninterested in that storyline because I don't have to read all caps.
I have to say, I am too. I could care less about what the Klingons are up to.
I like when they speak English.
Captain Picard, it is so good to see you again.
Good afternoon, ladies. Thank you for the tea.
We must stop him before he finds out our plan.
I can't stop drooling.
This is why you need to watch the video, because we love when Klingons talk with a mouthful of teeth. Because there are some of them who can handle it, and then there's a lot of them who just don't know what they're doing. And Lursa Mator never figured it out.
Your
right,
blood will paint the way to the future. Gowron.
Yeah, well, Gowron, he was okay.
He was okay. How come he didn't have to wear giant Dracula teeth?
I don't. Yeah, like some of them didn't. Some of them just, like, I guess they filed down their teeth like human teeth or something. And
I bet they only had like male or man-sized teeth, and they made the women wear them for Mercer and Rachel. It's like, I can't talk. He's like, that's fine.
well,
Do you have any smaller ones? No.
Do you want the job or not? Huh? Come on.
No, it's cool. I'll make it work.
Now, before we leave this, we should also hit up a little bit of, disturbing news. I suppose. Excuse me as I burp. Really nice way to transition that, Mike. I should tell you something really kind of
important news, serious news.
Just today, Anthony Rapp, who plays Stamets,
it just broke right before we started podcasting.
Yeah, and this sort of kind of happened very quickly. Anthony Rapp revealed that he was sexually assaulted at the age of 14 by Kevin Spacey. During a play, or not during a play, it was like they were both doing plays. Yeah, they were at a party, and evidently, I mean, you can read about the details, but he's 14 and Kevin Spacey was 26. Wildly inappropriate.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey came back very quickly and
with a
said, "I do
statement.
not remember this. It was 30 years ago. I was drunk. I am very, very sorry." And then basically, go ahead, Jason. You were going to say something?
Well, I was just going to say, I think he handled it about as well. I mean, the shocking thing was he came out of the closet as a result, and said he's living his life as a gay man. But at the same time, I felt like his statement was about as good as you could get in a scenario like that. It doesn't excuse anything he did.
He doesn't just blanket denial. He's like,
Right.
I don't remember, but if I did, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the first half was really good and the second half was good, and I don't know very much about this subject, but my only bit of cynicism here, and I could be 100% wrong on this, is that this was a very fortuitous time for him to reveal that he is gay, because it changes the narrative ever so slightly. To put that out as additional information, to sort of cloud, it kind of buries the lead a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it kind of takes away some of the. It's a distraction, I guess, in a way, because it's a little bit of. Although, if you've paid attention over the years, it's not really a shock at all.
It's not a real big thing, and honestly, who cares? I mean, who cares what his sexuality is in relationship to him sexually assaulting Anthony Rapp?
Yeah.
I mean, he could be asexual. It doesn't matter. What he did was wrong. But shrewdly, he uses a second paragraph to talk about his sexuality and to come out of the closet, which has no pertinence to anything about this.
Yeah.
But in some ways, but it will excuse him in the public forum.
I mean, I don't think it's like Harvey Weinstein trying to distract by saying, I'm going to focus all my attention on the NRA.
Well, but Harvey
it's less than that, but at the same time, yeah, I can see that it is a little bit of a distraction.
It's a little bit of a distraction. I mean, Harvey had, dozens of people come out against him.
Dozens. I think it's in the 60s or something, or 70s.
Well, yeah. Well, I can qualify as dozens. I mean,
I guess you're right.
I say 5 dozens. 5 dozens.
18 dozens.
All right. So, but yeah, I don't have that much to add to that. Just to say that event happened, and the second paragraph I have a little bit of curiosity towards. And as awkwardly as that is, it does in some ways. Honestly, I mean, I don't mean to make light of this at all, but that second paragraph, which he chose to put out, segues interestingly into the Orville, the episode Majority Rule, which was all about public perception.
Was that the segue right there?
That was the segue. Yeah, don't leave me hanging. I am really on tenuous ground on this. I don't know what I'm talking about, but
that's why I'm kind of like, okay.
Well, no,
I was
but
just
I mean,
thinking how he made that second paragraph all about himself rather than.
Yes, he did. I mean, the more you think about it, the more it's like, wait a minute, this has nothing to do with anything. I mean, who cares?
If Anthony Rapp weren't 14 at the time, this might fly, but that's the creepy part.
It also makes you wonder about his relationship with Bryan Singer, who they've worked together many times, who also has a reputation for being involved with underage actors and things like that. So yeah,
this is true.
At least a lot to be. Bryan Singer, the director of X-Men. There was a movie that came out with all that's been going on in recent weeks. A movie that came out last year before, called An Open Secret, which was about people knowing about child molesters in Hollywood, actually. And he's implicated a little bit in that. There's no direct evidence that he's done anything, but he's attended parties with these people who fled the country basically because they were, getting away with this.
Oh boy.
Tricky stuff.
There's gonna be a lot of. There's gonna be a lot more of this stuff, I think, because it certainly is spreading, and
which is a good thing.
Yeah,
I think there's no reason to hide this stuff under the carpet and protect people who are doing awful things, especially if they're doing it, consistently. There's I don't want to mention the guy's name, not even worth it, but the director. There's 300 women who've come out against this one director who's obviously a huge creep and is denying it and lashing out against them. And it's just when that many people come forward. I think you saw this in the Cosby case too. It's like there's a point where you can deny until just the evidence becomes overwhelming.
Exactly. It becomes irrefutable in some ways. It's like, why would 60, 100, 200 people make up the same story?
Right.
But we are far afield and be able to...
Which actually does tie in very much to the Orville when you're talking about, the numbers being...
That was the segue. Yeah, it's just like, I mean, as Kevin Spacey may be trying to appeal to the public opinion to try and cull favor, let's dive into the Orville.
I'm voting him
Majority
down
Rule.
Majority Rule.
Press on his chest.
Jason, what did you think about this? Yes.
Honestly... I didn't like the episode that much. I don't know if this is counteractive to what you guys are about to say, but I've seen it before, done it better on Black Mirror and on our friend Dan Harmon's show on Community. They did a very funny episode where Steve Agee and Brian Posehn had their app called Meow Meow Beans, where everybody at the campus, they would get a certain number of Meow Meow Beans for anything they did, and a popularity thing, basically. But yeah, I felt like I'd seen it before. I didn't really need to see it again, the same kind of story.
Kim, what'd you think?
I was just thinking how completely corny and obvious it was, but then it so reminded me of original series episodes, which are so heavy-handed in their social commentary.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they were received the same way. Well, I don't know how this episode was received. Do you know if people liked it or not?
I don't know. I didn't look into it.
But like the whole "Let That Be Your Last Battlefield" episode, I'm sure people are like, subtle.
Was there any reason for him to be humping a statue like that in public for real?
No, it's
other than to set up the plot of the show.
Funny.
It's such a vestigial part of this comedy they're still trying, and nobody likes it. Oh my gosh! I mean,
I like it, little bits and pieces here and there.
I liked here's the joke I liked, and I liked it a lot when Seth MacFarlane was talking about snacks on the table, and Bortha says, "I will not fail you." Like, to me, that's funny. Yeah, because
he's actually very funny, just because he's so dry.
Yeah.
When he says when he talked about singing too, that made me laugh.
Yes, that was funny too. It's like,
they're talking about American Idol. And again, a fixation with 300-year ago pop culture. That,
Yes, which you can give a little more leeway for that one, just because it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
that show. But yeah, but that's the kind of humor I want to see, where it's character driven, where it's like these characters acting naturally, not having to go to this weird time crystal comedy zone where they're trying to make a joke by humping a statue. We don't need that. But yeah, I found it to be it was just so over the top, heavy handed. It's just, I mean, they got buttons on their shoulders. I mean, Jesus, you guys. I mean, what is this about? What is upvotes and downvotes? Like, oh my gosh, this is. I just don't understand. But here's the thing I realized halfway through, and then my son corroborated it with me, because I had to watch it because they were off doing something, and when he got back, my 9-year-old said, "Dad, can we watch the Orville?" And I was like, "This is a kid's show now. This is Star Trek Junior."
really?
I think so. I mean, especially the lessons being taught to us. He would get that. He would not see this coming. He understands upvotes and downvotes, and he'd be like, "Oh, that was bad. Yeah, I get it. That was bad." And at the end, the girl decided not to do it, and maybe I should learn something. Everybody else is ahead of the story 15 seconds after they see the green up and the red down.
Yeah.
We're all like, well, this is going to play out exactly how we think, and it did. Weird Hunger Games lawyer who comes in, and it's like, it's there was. I mean, it was a cheap episode for them because they got to run around like, in Hollywood and around. I can't remember what, like the Hollywood Center. I can't remember what that area is, but I knew exactly where that lobby was because it's where they shoot a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's they have a lot of casting offices in there, a lot of production offices, and they shoot a lot of stuff. Actually, I shot 2 Geico commercials there. Yeah, so they just redressed it as a
sponsor of Star Trek Discovery.
I'm pushing it. I'm pushing real good. Was it a sponsor of Star Trek Discovery? I guess it was in the past.
I keep seeing that same commercial with the woman cutting up fruit. Call Jim. Calling the Jim.
Yeah.
Ordering Jim
I didn't
clothes.
see any of those tonight.
I saw the one with the bear tonight. Did you see that one? With the
Yes, where the bear's
allergies.
hugging the guy. Allergies, yeah.
Oh, Jesus, man. I don't need to see that bear anymore.
Oh, I like that one.
Well, I mean, it was okay, but like once, and then you see it again and again. It's like,
I've seen that Call Jim thing at least 20 times.
Yeah.
I know. I
My
wonder
mom saw it and she goes, "What is that pot with eyes?"
Is that pot with eyes?
Oh my gosh.
You sound ridiculous.
She was going to come out any minute now. What are you doing? Why are you laughing? It's so late.
What is it? Girls shouldn't laugh. Is that what she said?
No. She just said, "You sound crazy. Neighbors are going to wonder. Do you have anything to eat?"
Oh.
We
Yeah,
really have to
so,
get her on before the end of the Star Trek, before it's done.
It'll be
it's done,
15 minutes of her going, "Who are they? What are we talking about? What is this?"
We met your mother once, exactly once.
Yeah.
In the 20 years that I've known you, Kim.
Oh, you want to hang out with an 86-year-old lady?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. I mean,
She's pretty awesome.
I'm all for that. I mean, gosh, I mean, I wish I could take her. I'm doing this. I'm shooting this thing out in the desert where I need someone to play like my co-pilot. And God, your mother would be great.
Mass confusion.
Oh yeah, my God, it'd be so great. Another time, I guess.
One interesting thing, I was watching the Vietnam documentary with her on PBS, and they were talking about William Westmoreland or something. She's like, "Oh, I saw him." Like, what?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he was in Okinawa, and I saw him. He was just walking around. I'm like, what? Weird, random.
Oh wow.
Anyway,
I don't have anything for the story.
I know,
It's
it's-
a good, you know,
Brought us to a screeching halt. Yeah, upvote.
it
I'll put that
segues us
story.
to nothing. Well, I am looking at this season 2 photo you sent us, and I am happy to see Lorca in there. You're right, Tilly is. I mean, this is obviously from first season. This is like a first season one.
Yeah, they haven't done anything for second
Ash
season yet.
Tyler.
They just floated. I guess he is there too. Yeah, so maybe he is going to persist. Maybe he will just be like a regular crew member, or maybe they just like created this.
I
to
think
kind
it's
of
all
throw him
it's all a ruse.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Lorca might die, and this Ash Tyler guy is probably going to go. And people are saying Tilly might die, too, which, I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
You just see Saru.
He detected all the threats and got himself out of there.
I know. He
Born
detects
in
no
fear.
threats, yeah. The only threat he detects is Michael Burnham, and she's always saving the day, so...
She always looks like she's on the edge of tears. She's always very upset about something.
I saw, so Sonequa Martin Green's acting was, again, just this weird Geiger counter of human, Vulcan, human, Vulcan, human, Vulcan. It seemed like every scene she picked, like, a different characterization. Because, I mean, sometimes she was like, that is, I do not find any fault in that. And the other time she's like, we got to get out of here. You know, it's like, well, which is it, all right? You know, I mean, it's like, I've never been with a man before. And she's like, come dance with me. You know, it's like, I don't know. I need some consistency, but that's me.
Yep.
So you mentioned that she showed up on The Walking Dead, on The Talking Dead.
Yeah, they
plug
had their
Discovery
big-
real quick.
Yeah, she just came in, and of course everyone goes crazy because they love her as Sasha.
Oh, she
And then,
wasn't good on that. I didn't like her on that. Did you like her?
I liked her on that eventually.
Eventually, yeah. I like for
Yeah.
3 seasons, I didn't know what she was doing there except for like walking around. You know.
That's everybody.
I know. That's why I don't watch this show anymore because they just
She
walk
became a
around.
sniper.
I
She
haven't
was a
watched
wicked
in like
sniper.
3 seasons, and now there's a guy with a tiger walking around.
Oh yeah. You just dove in after 3 seasons.
No, I haven't. I haven't watched in 3 seasons, so you know,
Oh.
once
We all
in a
just
while
see
I'll
the
see a
tiger.
recap. Yeah.
Yeah, we just all see the tiger and go, oh, there's a tiger there, and there's a guy with a bat with like nails on it. I guess,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, anyway.
I derailed.
So-
No.
Yeah.
So she shows up and she's like, wow, look at me.
Well, of course, Chris Hardwick is like, you're part of 2 incredible franchises.
I'm like, which ones are those? Burn! Michael Burnham! Oh, gosh.
So are you
That's
still
funny.
tortured and tormented about everything?
About watching this series?
Are you able to enjoy it, knowing all that you know over 50 years?
So today I watched, I started out with the Orville, and I have to tell you, when it first started out, and that identical music that they basically steal from Star Trek comes on,
Yep.
and the nice camera work from the late 80s, early 90s happen, I'm so comfortable. It's like that
Yes.
girl sleeping in that bed. I was like, yes, this is, I can just daydream in here. I'm so happy. And they stole another music cue from, it sounded like from the Genesis music from Star Trek 2. Yeah, it's fine. Whatever they want to do, it's fine.
They've broken you down
Yeah.
to the point where you're like, it's fine.
It's all fine. I mean, for this one, I am very fatigued about the show. It just rips me apart every week.
I feel like Mike is always on the verge of one or the other. Like he's in this kind of zone where he's happy because it's Star Trek-esque, and then like one of our friends mentions, how bad it is. He's like, "You're right, they're all terrible."
Well, I had that one episode which I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good, and then everyone's like, no, it's not. It's like, you're right, it's not.
Wait, that's what you say you do to the people on Reddit.
Yeah.
30-second loop. Time crystal.
Going back. No, I see. Here's the thing: is those people, and a lot of them want to be on the podcast as well. And they're like, "This show's terrible. I want to talk about it." It's like, okay, but I have to watch all these episodes. And I have to talk about it on a weekly basis. So I have to. in some ways, I and you guys, we have to have some degree of impartiality and say, is this a good episode? Is this good Star Trek? Is it good television? Is it good television? It's okay television. Is it good Star Trek? Not yet. I mean, if we're looking at it objectively, it's not good Star Trek. There are none of the tenets of Star Trek that we've seen in the past 50 years. None of it links up as far as through canon. They're making up stuff as they go. None of the technology links up. It's not good Star Trek yet. Is it a good episode? Yeah, it's a good episode. I mean, it's good TV. It's not great.
All right.
Goodbye, everybody. But this is this is the line that we must dance every single week. This is we must hold the line. This is the price of freedom.
That's why we're aboard her.
That's why we're aboard her.
I thought you were going to go right into it.
That was at the end. They used to say if man could fly, he'd have wings. But he did fly. Discovered he had to. Do you wish the first Apollo mission hadn't reached the moon? We hadn't gone to Mars, the nearest star. That's like saying you wish you still operate with a scalpel and still be patient with catgut, like your great-great-great-great-grandfather used to. I'm in command. I could order this. But I'm not, because Dr. McCoy is right. Okay, we don't have to do any more of that. That's fine.
Oh, I was listening.
Dr. McCoy is right in pointing out the enormous danger potential in any contact with alien civilization is this fantastically advanced, but they must point out the possibility, the potential for knowledge and advancement is equally great. Risk is our business. That's what this starship's all about. That's why we're aboard her.
Yes.
That is what Star Trek is about. I am Linus at the end of the Charlie Brown Christmas telling you what Star Trek's all about.
Lights, please.
That's the same speech that captivated hundreds at the Space Rock Run 2 weeks ago.
Oh, they were not captivated. They were like, when's this jackass going to stop talking so I can run up and down these hills and throw up my guts?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to hear any speech like that anytime soon on Discovery.
No, there'll be no...
Camera will be all crooked and it'll zoom in.
Lots of Dutch angles in this. Yep. Oh, my God. Stop.
They're back. Aye.
We get it. The world's a little kooky. I mean, you can do other stuff. Anyway. All right, let's cap this one off. A good podcast on us.
You're going to allow it?
I'm going to allow this one, this timeline, I'm going to allow to exist. I'm going to let this weird armband dissolve off my body and wait for Sarah to come pick me up, even though I think it's somebody else.
You think it's Klingons that you're going to sell the ship to?
I will think it's, yeah. Why would he sell it to the Klingons? They just tortured him. What the hell's going on? You know,
There's no better bidder. There's no higher bidder than the Klingons.
Sell it to Stella's dad. I mean, he's an arms dealer. He would love that, right?
Excellent.
All right.
Oh, right. I forgot he is an arms dealer. Oh.
Yeah. All right. It's fine.
Hey, before we go, I got a quick plug, if it's okay.
All right.
I'm going to be on Wade and Willie's podcast. We recorded this last week right here on the Feral Audio Network, called Real Life Sci-Fi with Wade and Willie.
Very nice.
So, and we talked about can celebrities get away with murder, as we were approaching the I think it's,
OJ. Yes.
No, Kim solved it. We actually talk about the mysterious death of Natalie Wood. The anniversary of her death is coming up.
Okay.
Interesting. That, and we may or may not, spoiler alert, talk about William Shatner and his
he killed Natalie
wife. No, his wife's unfortunate passing. Spoiler alert, I don't think he did anything wrong.
You're gonna finger on William Shatner.
I just broke Kim.
Jeez.
No, well, it's a conspiracy theory show, so they discuss that sort of thing. But yeah, so look for that on Feral Audio this week.
We will do that. Yes, Wade and Willie show, good show. I was on that show. Willie seemed unprepared, but that's all right.
Unlike this, dive in straight with anger.
Well, we have something a little more concrete we can talk about. I mean, Willie. Willie. He's like, do you think that Gene Roddenberry was part of this like conspiracy thing? And like, he was kind of hoping that I would fill in the gaps. Like, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. He had some sort of weird thing with like the number 9 and like there's 9 cultists or something like that. And Wade could care less, as Wade normally does. He was sitting there on his phone the whole time, and everyone was he was like.
What?
He's like, what the fuck, And I was like, oh, okay.
Wait, I gotta try that. What the fuck, you guys?
Well, you were on your phone for quite a while.
I was doing research.
And then you were eating soup and drinking from a NASA mug.
I was eating apple pie and drinking coffee.
Oh, apple.
Oh, Twin
Jesus,
Peaks
what are you from the 1950s, Kim? What is this? Agent Cooper now from Twin Peaks? I don't understand.
Pie, not apple pie.
Damn good pie. Damn good coffee.
Damn good coffee.
Damn it. Next week we will talk about Si vis pacem parabellum. I don't know, how do you pronounce Latin word?
What are you saying? Is that the next
episode title.
next week?
Oh, okay. And this is the last episode, actually, of this, like, half season.
Oh. Take
Episode
a break
8, I believe, is...
and
Yeah.
come back.
They come back in 2018, so after that we are... So if I'm upset about this, if I don't like this show, then I will get exactly what I deserve, which is to have no more Star Trek for, like, months and months.
But then we might get episodes like where you talk to past performers and your deep dives.
Yeah, that's. It's funny because my Women of Star Trek things become very, very salient, very, very pertinent
I hear
now,
that.
and topical, and I'm a little scared to do it because it could in some ways. Well, I mean, it's all out there, but I mean, we'll talk about it some other time. Anyway, I miss that. I miss being kind of a historian, an archivist, someone who can go, through 50 years of history and talk about it instead of being it right in my face and having to make a judgment on it when like 10 years I'm like, oh, it's pretty good or it's pretty bad. So, But thank you all for listening. Please go to iTunes and leave a review. It would be really great. We're still battling Saturday morning breakfast cereal Star Trek thing.
What?
We're like,
What? Saturday morning breakfast cereal.
There's one of these Trek FM ones called like Saturday Morning something, where they talk about all the animated episodes, and we are constantly in battle to be ahead of them in the ratings as far as like best Star Trek podcast.
Oh.
And every
Screw
time
those
like we
guys.
fall behind them, it just makes my heart sink. It's like, how can that be?
They have that juggernaut advertising machine behind them.
I know. Yeah, Farrell's dropping the ball here.
So I have a translation of that title, by the way. It's "If you want peace, prepare for war."
Yes.
All right. Well, this is going to be the Vulcan hello. If you want peace, prepare for
What does
war.
that mean?
We still haven't figured that one out. They should have just kept that in Latin and. Anyway, all right, I'm tired. I'm weary. I'm trying. Thank you for listening. I'm Mike McCafferty.
I'm Kim Miller.
And I'm Jason McCarris.
And I just want to talk about...
Star Trek!
And I just want to talk about...
Star Trek!
And I just want to talk about...
Star Trek!
And I just want to talk about...
Ah, Dormammu!